Hi everyone. Today's topic is Advanced Reasoning 3. Like in Advanced Reasoning 1 and in 2, we've discussed about 4 different individual topics. Here we will be covering 2 more topics which are known as courses of action and cause and effect. So a problematic situation will be followed by several courses of action. You need to intend to solve the problem, and if the problem is unsolvable, then you need to minimize the damages. Now, when we look at solving the problem, how do we solve the problem? What are the steps that we undertake to solve the problem? So, first things first is we should look for a solution that completely solves the problem. If it cannot solve the problem completely, then it should somewhere minimize the damages. So, if it cannot solve the problem, minimize the damage. Look for a practical, implementable course of action and not an idealistic course of action. It should solve the problem immediately and instantly and not a very long term solution. And we have to always view the problem as authentic. If we view the problem as authentic, only then it will help us get to the right course of action. 7 consecutive years of poor rainfall in the Dudu subdivision of Jaipur district, Rajasthan, has decimated villages. Decimated means destroyed. It has decimated villages and has forced large scale migration. Let's see what are the courses of action. Wells, ponds, and other sources of water in the village should be desilted annually and plans should be drawn up for the maintenance. Bunds, channels, and pits should be built following the natural slope of land to allow water to flow up in the existing wells, ponds, etc. Villagers leaving must be provided with transport and other facilities. Now, obviously, the problem is that there is poor rainfall, and because there is poor rainfall, it has destroyed villages, which is forcing large scale migration. So, what should be done? Obviously, wells, ponds, and other sources of water should be desilted, which is purified. Bunds, channels, and pits should definitely be built, but the third one should not be done, which is villagers living must be provided with transport and other facilities. That will in turn aggravate the problem. So, hence, my answer is 1 and 2 only, which is option number 3. Second one says nearly $244 meant for India to fight AIDS is lying unused in Geneva banks. It's lying unused in Geneva banks. Even as thousands die of HIV/AIDS every month without the life-saving treatment that India's own pharmaceutical companies are producing at low cost and supplying around the world. So the problem is that there are funds which are lying unused in banks, in Geneva banks, as thousands of people are dying due to these unused funds. Domestic bodies fighting the AIDS pandemic should get their acts together and channelize foreign funds effectively in their fight against AIDS. And advertising blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg is an intense campaign. So, an advertising blitzkrieg should be initiated to make the youth aware of dangers of licentious in AIDS. Action should be initiated against the body in Geneva that rejected all Indian projects, citing poor management and accountability. Now, what's the basic problem? The problem is with respect to the funds which are lying unused in banks. So obviously my answer here is only one. If you could do an advertising blitzkrieg, we are not talking about making the people aware here. All we are talking about is how should we channelize those funds. Hence, my answer is one only, option number 1. Recent sting operation by high-profile journalists have helped expose a number of corrupt practices in a legislature and bureaucracy. So here they are asking is what should be the course of action after sting operations. First is sting operations by journalists should be made illegal activities as not falling under the scope of journalism. A committee should be appointed to verify in a time-bound manner the authenticity of the charges. People exposed by sting operations should be dismissed from their jobs immediately. Now, if it has helped expose a number of corrupt practices, then obviously a committee should be appointed to verify in a time-bound manner the authenticity. You can't go with the third one because first you will verify whether the charges are authentic or not. And once you verify that the charges are authentic or not, then you can dismiss people from their jobs. So it's a very far-fetched thing. Hence, your answer is option number 2 only, which is 2. The recent upsurge in the number of low-cost airlines has put considerable strain on the infrastructure at the airports. Flights are now routinely delayed or cancelled owing to the limited capacity of airports to handle flights. Now, what should be done? There is a lot of strain on the airport, and infrastructure at the airport is now getting affected. Flights are getting delayed because airports have limited capacity to handle flights. So, low cost airlines should be suspended until airports are upgraded. Separate airports should be built for low cost airlines. Flight schedule should be adjusted in such a manner that low cost airlines fly only non peak hours and infrequent destinations. Now, the answer to this is none of the above. Why is it none of the above? Is because all of them are practical, all of them are non-practical, and somewhere they are not addressing the topic. Airports to be upgraded will take a lot of time. Separate airlines should be built for low-cost airlines, separate airports, a lot of time. Flight schedules be adjusted in such a manner. If you adjust the flight schedule that they fly only to non-frequent destinations, it is not going to make sense because if I want to travel to a certain place at a certain time, I will not be able to do so, is because low cost airlines will not take me there. So, hence, it's of no use, hence, none of the above. Recent elections have been characterized by small turnouts of eligible voters. So, the problem is that recently the elections that have happened, very few number of a small amount of eligible voters have actually come forward to vote. So, what should be done? A committee should be constituted to study the feasibility of legal provisions that would require citizens to vote. Voting should be made compulsory. A person who does not vote should lose his franchise. The first one definitely is a sound course of action that you should form a committee to study feasibility of legal provisions. You can't make voting compulsory. Even after voting, making it compulsory, you don't know how much would a person want to vote. And you can definitely not go with a person who does not vote should lose his franchise. So my answer thus becomes option number 1 only, which is option 3. Various commentators have suggested that no person should serve more than 10 years in either the Indian Parliament or the State Assembly. MPs and MLAs should be discouraged for contesting elections after they have served 2 full terms. The constitution should be amended to make the settling states mandatory. A national debate should be initiated on the issue. Now, MPs and MLAs should be discouraged from contesting elections. Here, if you look at the question, there is no problem. It is only a suggestion. MPs and MLAs have suggested. So when they have suggested, that does not require any course of action. Hence, option is none follows, which means no course of action is required. Studies after a couple of incidents of suicides that happened at IITs reveal that IITs averages a suicide or an attempt every 2 years, and there are stories of suicide attempts at regular intervals. The reason for such acts should be studied. A comparison should be made among different IITs. The IIT's culture of never-ending saga of hard work and pressure of the grading system should be relaxed. Now, IITs are known for their hard work and pressure of grading system, so you cannot relax that. What you can definitely do is reason. You can study why are people committing so many suicides and via their attempts. And obviously, since they're telling about various IITs and not just one IIT, then comparison should definitely be made among different IITs. So answer is 1 and 2 only, option number 1. The weather department has predicted heavy to very heavy rainfall over the city and suburbs over the next 24 hours. It's just a prediction, so we don't take any drastic steps just for predictions. So municipal corporation should take adequate precautions to prevent flooding of low-lying areas. Schools in the city and suburbs should be given a holiday. The health department should eliminate possibilities of waterborne illnesses. Municipal corporation should take adequate precaution, definitely, because there is prediction, so there should be precaution. Schools should not give holiday just based on prediction. This will be a very drastic step. And health department should not eliminate possibilities of waterborne. Even this is a drastic step. Waterborne illnesses only happen during floods. When there are no floods, there is no need to eliminate waterborne illness. Hence, option is option number 1 only. First, a mysterious attacker in the suburb brutally assaulted a schoolgirl who was on her way to school. This is a third in a series of identical attacks in the suburb on schoolgirls in less than 2 weeks. The police should extend their security cover to schools until the culprit is nabbed. Schools in the suburb should be advised to keep girl students in group as far as possible while they are going to or from their school. Parents and students should be advised to refrain from sending their girl children to school till the culprit is nabbed. Now, obviously, extension of security cover to schools should be given, which is a must. Schools in the suburb should be advised to keep girl students in group as far as possible. So, like if they're traveling to a similar area, then they travel together, which is also quite possible. So, 1 and 2. It can't be the third, which is all of the above, because you can't refrain until the culprit is nabbed. Don't know how much time will it take, right, for the culprit to be nabbed. So, you can't stop them from going to school. Hence, 1 and 2 only. According to an estimate by the Planning Commission in 2005, the social cost of road accidents, deaths, and injuries on the Indian highways amounted to rupees 75,000 crores. The National Highway Authority of India should redesign and rebuild the highways and the lines of highways abroad without the crisscrossing of different kinds of traffic and people. The ambulances that patrol highways should be upgraded. Government hospitals near highways should be given more funds to upgrade their trauma centers. The first one, though, seems to be a great option, but it's very idealistic. If we redesign and rebuild the Indian highways, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of factors. Hence, first is incorrect. Second, ambulances that patrol highways should be upgraded. Government hospitals near highways should be given more funds. Both are implementable and both are quite possible. So, answer should be 2 and 3 only, which is option number 1. Now, moving on to cause and effect. So, there are two statements given, A and B. These statements may be either independent causes or may be effects of independent causes, or they may be related and they may be the cause and effect of each other. We need to read and we need to decide whether they are independent or there is a relationship between the two statements. And if there is a relationship, then which is the cause, which is the effect. So I will mark 1 if I think statement A is the cause and B is its effect. I will mark 2 if I think statement B is the cause and A is its effect. I will mark both statements A and B if they are effects of independent causes. And I will mark 4 if both statements are effects of some common cause. First says, in its latest strike, ULFA terrorism in Guwahati has claimed 14 lives. The time has certainly come for the central government to go after the armed extremists resolutely. Now, definitely here, if I see both the statements are related, armed extremists refers to the terrorists and terrorism in Guwahati. So, because ULFA terrorism in Guwahati has claimed 14 lives, is why the time has certainly come. So A becomes my cause and B here becomes my effect. Answer is option number 1. A the cause, B the effect. Second statement A says, this book is an important source of all-round authentic comprehensive information about the temple in relation to the deities, literature, and rituals. The book contains three sections: a complete history of temple, its structure, the glories of deities, and the rituals and festivals conducted here. Now, obviously, things they are both talking about books, so obviously they are related. And when I see in what way they are related, they are related in a way that why does any book become important sources? Why? Because the book contains certain things. So because the book contains three sections, etc., is why the book becomes an important source. So B is the cause, A is the effect. Answer is 2. Third says authorities at BC Memorial Hospital for Children here sought to downplay the alarm caused by the death of 25 babies over the last 4 days at the hospital. Sought to downplay the alarm means they tried to suppress the situation which was caused by the death of so many babies. And when they tried to suppress the situation, what did they try to do? They said that most of the victims were admitted in serious condition. So why did they want to downplay the alarm which was caused by death of 25 babies? Because obviously it was a very serious situation. And since they wanted to downplay the alarm, what did they do? They said that most victims were admitted in serious condition. So because they wanted to downplay the alarm, the effect of that was the statement given, that is most victims were admitted in serious condition. So A is the cause and B is its effect. Answer is option number 1. Fourth one says the Union Home Ministry has said Al Jazeera should not be allowed to register an office in India, thereby caping for now its plans to beam into the country. The decision comes at a time when Al Jazeera is all set to launch its English channel worldwide. So the Union Home Ministry on one hand and Al Jazeera is set to launch its English channel worldwide. Obviously, both are not related. The decision of Union Home Ministry has nothing to do with English channel worldwide. So the reason for Union Home Ministry should not be allowed to register an office is a different thing, and decision coming at a time is a different thing. My answer becomes option number 3. Both are effects of independent causes. CT scanning provides information on the location and extent of calcified plaque. Coronary arteries may develop blockages to the formation of plaques which consist of fat and other substances, including calcium. Now, CT scanning is no way related to why coronary arteries may develop blockages. First one talks about what CT scanning does. So it's an effect of how CT scanning is made. And second also is an effect which say why does it develop blockages? Because of the reason that fat gets accumulated. So my answer hence becomes option number 3 again. Both are effects of independent causes. 61A says peaceful protesters surround the convention center where the WTO meeting was to be held. They stood their ground trying to delay the meeting inside. Why did they surround the convention center, guys, to delay the meeting? Why did they stand their ground in order to delay the meeting? So here the cause is the same, that both wanted to delay the meeting. So they are effects of a common cause to delay the meeting. Hence answer is 4. A says while the last 2 decades have seen significant reductions in noise produced by all sorts of vehicles, the rapid growth in transport, particularly air and road, has resulted in well over 120 million people in the European Union being exposed to noise level above 55 LD and dBA on the front facade of their houses. Noise is a serious issue. Levels over 40 LD and dBA affect our well-being, where there is evidence that levels over 60 LD and dBA can affect our psychological and physical health. So here we are talking about noise pollution, but they are not related as to cause and effect, because both are talking about significant reduction and how noise becomes an important issue. Hence, my answer to this is option number 3. Both are effects of independent causes. 8 says vast amounts of waste and pollution end up in the seas. During the past years, public concern has led to a range of national, regional, and international initiatives to reduce the flow of toxic chemicals into the sea and back via the marine food chain onto our plates. Because vast amount of waste and pollution end up in the seas is why public concern has led to range of initiatives. So A is the cause, B is the effect. Answer is option 1. Eutrophication is the excessive enrichment of waters with nutrients and associated adverse biological effects, and it is still one of the major environmental factors. Eutrophication is caused by large anthropogenic inputs of nutrients nitrogen and phosphorus to the aquatic environment from a range of societal sectors. Both are talking about eutrophication. First gives me a definition of eutrophication. Second gives me what is the cause behind it. So these are effects of a common cause, eutrophication. Answer becomes option number 4. 10th and the last one. There is considerable stress in the regions where reduction in the prices of plantation crops is prominent in the farm economy. Import liberalization has had a strong dampening effect on the prices of several crops, especially plantation crops. Because import liberalization has had a strong dampening effect on plantation crops, is why there is stress in the regions where reduction of prices is prominent. So because there is dampening effect is why there is stress. So B is the cause, A is the effect. Answer is option number 2. I hope we are clear with cause and effect and forces of action. Please keep practicing, guys. Thank you so much.